Matt Cave Gaming here, and today we're out of the cave. I just wanted to share how I got into the franchise and why I stuck with it all these years. It all started when my cousin came over one day with his PlayStation. I didn't have a PlayStation. The only experience I had with the PlayStation was occasionally trying it while we were at a store and maybe there was a demo set up, but that was it. Brings it over and says, hey, let's hook this up. I gotta show you a game. Now he knew, and just like he is, I was big into horror movies. I grew up with them, and I probably started watching them way too young. But you know what? I love them, and one of the best genres that I just attached to, and don't get me wrong, it scared the hell out of me growing up, but I couldn't get enough of it. It was zombies. My cousin knew this, and he pops in this game. I never heard of it before. What are we playing? Oh, we're playing Resident Evil. Okay. No idea what it is. Pops this disc in, we start it up. Get the Capcom intro, and then live action footage. Now I had the Sega CD before that, and obviously still had it, so I was used to seeing live action footage in video games at that point, but not like this. The Sega CD quality was pretty bad, to be honest. I mean, then it was fantastic because I didn't have anything better. Here it is, full motion live action video, real actors, and this story begins in black and white. And this group of special forces go into the woods trying to investigate weird murders going on in the area. It took place in 1998. You get a little bit of an intro from Chris Redfield telling you why they're out there. And still, to that point, I had no idea what this game was about. My cousin didn't tell me. And all I knew was I saw the cover with the artwork and, big guy holding the gun, the crazy version of Chris Redfield, I guess it was, on the cover. And that's all I had to go on. It starts going through, they're searching through the woods, and they find a severed arm in the grass. All of a sudden, they're getting attacked by something. At this point, my little mind is just going crazy. What is going after them? There's sudden close-up shots of just teeth and just snarling. I'm like, oh my god, what is this? What is this game? Suddenly you realize it's this pack of zombie dogs going after them. They're firing away at them, trying to get through. A couple of them already getting killed. They're getting ripped apart. It was gruesome. Finally, this small group that survived make it to a mansion. Walk into the mansion. Chris Redfield again sets the stage of who survived. They don't know where Barry is. And then it switches over to the game. I was already hooked. I was already hooked. I honestly, at that point, I was like, give me whatever this game has. I don't care what it is. I know I'm going to love it. And you start this story shrouded in mystery, suspense, and horror. But it wasn't just horror that I knew from the movies. This was survival horror. This wasn't like any game I ever played before. Ammunition was scarce. Medkits were even more scarce. Your inventory slots were so limited that you had to manage it throughout the game. You couldn't just pick up anything you wanted at any time. You had to think about it. Check, what did I have already? Do I have enough space for this? Do I need to circle back and come back? Because this wasn't, here's point A, point B, beat the stage and move on to the next board. The game was the stage. The whole game. And the point was to survive it and make it to safety. And here you are with a knife. You eventually get a handgun, some bullets. And at that point, I didn't really get the whole concept yet. So the first zombies that show up, I'm firing away and I run out of ammo. Little did I know, I wasn't going to get any ammo back anytime soon. So here I am with a knife going after these zombies that I have no idea where they are. Now, I know the game like the back of my hand. I can run through this game pretty quick and I still love it. But then I had no idea where to go. You eventually find a map and you're like, oh great, now I can kind of track where I'm going, where I've been. But even then, you're going through this huge mansion, you're going through doorway after doorway and having no idea what lurks on the other side. This game terrified me, and all at the same time blew my mind and amazed me like no other game had before. And then when I realized there's even another campaign. You don't just play as Chris Redfield, you get to play as Jill Valentine also. And it's an alternate story, which made it a whole new game. Just absolutely incredible, and I had one of the best experiences of my life playing that game. I played it for years, and I still play it to this day. So there it was in my hands on a PlayStation. I knew at that point I had to get this console. So I eventually got a PlayStation of my own, and got some other titles. I loved the PlayStation. There were some great games on there, but this was my go-to game. Then, one of the best things ever happened. The sequel was announced, Resident Evil 2, which ended up being my all-time favorite entry in the entire franchise. Resident Evil 2 showed up. I didn't, I was a kid. I didn't have money to keep just go spending and everything, so I couldn't buy the game. But we had a local video rental store. We didn't even go to Blockbuster. We didn't have a subscription there. But there was a little mom and pop shop. It was called Joe's Video Hall. My brother, we would beg our mother, just please, it's after school, whatever. Can we just go to Joe's Video Hall? Go to Joe's Video Hall. I forget how much it was. Maybe it was like $4 or $5 or something to rent the game. Can we please, let's go rent the game. And we actually, would go there, and Joe himself would be there, and he was always so cool about everything and would recommend stuff, and was always awesome about the policies, return policy, everything like that. So I go and I rent Resident Evil 2. Here it is, 2 discs, 2 characters again to play with, but this time 4 scenarios to play, 2 of them being an alternate version of the other 2. We had the few days to play it. Obviously the game is huge. There's no way we were beating this game in one weekend. The game was so much bigger. It played the same way with the tank controls, which, to be honest, I don't mind the tank controls. I have no problem with them. We got used to them from the first game, so we knew how to play, but now you're outside, and now you're going into the police station. There's all these other big areas. It wasn't just the mansion. Now you're seeing the city, Raccoon City, flooded with these zombies and all these creatures everywhere. It was just a whole nother way to play the game, and the characters were so great. Then we had to return the game. But Joe, he was awesome. He let us keep it longer. He said, just keep it longer. He gave, I don't remember exactly, to me it felt like forever. Maybe he gave us 2 extra days in reality, but to us, or to us kids, when you're a kid, time lasts forever, summer lasts forever, everything was forever, because you had nothing else to do, because you're a kid. So we got the extra time, and we played through this game, and we beat it. And oh my goodness, what a ride that was. And then to find out, oh my god, now there's scenario B to get the other side of the story. By then it was, I have to get my hands on a copy of my own, and eventually got the game and bought it. And this was hands down the best experience I've had on the PlayStation. In Resident Evil 2, you play as Leon S. Kennedy and Claire Redfield. She's the sister of Chris Redfield, your hero from the first one. And there's even links to the first one. You go into the police station, that's where the STARS team, their base was. You find a picture of the whole group together. You find Chris's diary with information and tells you where he is. But Claire's looking for him. That's why she came to Raccoon City and heard about weird reports of stuff going on. She's there to look for her brother. Meanwhile, Leon, it's his first day on the force. He's a brand new officer, and this is his first day. Shows up in the city, and the first thing he has to deal with are zombies trying to eat him. Insanity, something right out of the movies. And the game was so cinematic. It was like playing a horror movie, and I think that's what lured everybody in, and why it grabbed so many fans to this franchise, that it was like playing a horror movie. And in my personal experience, I didn't have anything else like that to compare it to. To me, this was the best gaming experience I've ever had, and maybe to this day may still be the best one. It didn't alter the franchise from the first one to the second one a crazy amount, but it did it enough to make it fresh, to make it new, and it expanded that story, because even when you finish the first one, there's so much mystery. What's up with this Umbrella company? What is this, the Umbrella Corporation? Why did they do this? Why did they make this virus? What's going on? And scattered throughout both games, there's files and documents to pick up, and if you spend the time to read them, they're very interesting. It fills in these gaps to the story and gives you so many answers, but as many answers as it gives you, it poses even more questions. So now you got part 2 adding more to the story, and you find out about William Birkin and him making the G virus, which was the advancement from the T virus in the first game. And then he ends up getting infected because the Umbrella Corporation comes in and shoots him down to steal his work, and he's not having that, so he goes and takes the G virus and becomes basically the boss that you got to fight in the game. Meanwhile, there's the other guy in the trench coat who's one of the tyrants like in the first one, but he seems to be more under control. He's just walking around in a trench coat. Scenario A, you're dealing with William Birkin as a monster. Scenario B, you're running away from this thing going after you. You never know when he's going to come out. He would bust through a wall that you had passed countless times already in the game, and suddenly this thing comes busting through the wall and scares you out of your pants. It was just incredible. You never knew what to expect, and it kept you on the edge of your seat the entire time that you played the game. To be able to accomplish that in a video game and to have that much replay value is so rare. Capcom and the developers of this game, they accomplished that. They made a game that was fun to play pretty much no matter how many times you played it. I still go back to this game, replay it. I got all these things unlocked. You get the infinite ammo, you get different costumes, you get different weapons, and I still play through this game and have the best time ever playing it, because it's just that amazing. And if there was ever a game to recommend to somebody for that system, for the PlayStation 1, it was Resident Evil 2. Even over the first one. The first one I loved, don't get me wrong, I love that game. It set the tone, it made what it is today, but Resident Evil 2 was just on a whole nother level. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you do, hit that like button, subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you guys next time on Matt Cave Gaming.